Greetings and thank you for tuning in to Mr. Story Channel, where you can experience the most fascinating moments on Reddit. It's time for our first story. Am I the jerk for putting up a tree net to stop any fruits from going into my neighbor's yard? I inherited a house from my dad after his passing a few years ago. His house came with a guava tree in the yard. The tree has been there for a good portion of my teen years and is special to me. Me and my wife were one day thinking of ways to earn extra income and realized we could literally sell off the fruit. I got the permit and started to prepare the guava in different ways. For reference, I sell the fruit whole, spliced and put into cups, candied, etc. We realized that while the branches weren't exactly hanging over our neighbor's lawn, sometimes guava would either fall over or buck against the fence at the right angle and end up over there. So me and my wife purchased a tree fruit net for the side of the tree that was closer to the neighbor's yard. Since then, I don't think any fruit fell in their yard, which is good. What led me here today is that last week, while my wife was out on the lawn, the neighbor's kid approached her and asked what happened to the fruits. My wife explained that we keep the fruits in a net so that we can have more. Apparently the kid ran off and came back with their dad, who asked my wife the same thing. She explained again, and from what she said, the father looked like he took it personally. I asked if we thought he was stealing, and my wife explained no, we didn't think that. We just wanted to maximize the fruit that fell from our tree since we do use it for some profit. Today, the same neighbor knocked on the door, and I answered. He asked if we could talk about the fruit tree situation. He said that he thinks it's selfish how my father would freely let the fruits fall wherever, but now that I'm here, I'm hoarding the fruit. I explained that the tree is my property, so whatever comes from the tree is also my property. I said he could buy guava off us if he wanted, but he looked so upset that I would even recommend that. I'm glad his kid liked the fruit, but now that I'm making money off this, I can't just let that happen freely. He called me selfish again and said that I could at least spare a few. I said again that he could buy some of me if he wanted. I offered a box for $5. Now, every time we see him around, he doesn't smile at us, which I guess is expected. But now they let the dog poop on our lawn and keep telling his kid loudly that the neighbors killed the fruit fairy. Some of the neighbors are still cool with us, but it's like we made an enemy of him, and I'm feeling slightly guilty for the kid. Edit. It is advised to add this in too. We started the net when we had a medical bill come up and needed to work on paying it off. I'm being advised to edit this in. The box of fruit was for fruit that was prepped in some way, which is what I was asked about. My wife was asked for the fruit as a whole. It was when he came to me that he asked about the fruits that were prepared. So, am I the jerk for this? If you are enjoying these stories, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This helps a lot. Thanks. Next story. Am I the jerk for wanting to kick out my brother and his family after they've been nightmare house guests? My brother, Ellis, recently got a job in my city that required an immediate start. He didn't have the time or money to find a place on such notice, and his partner, Taylor, just had a baby 7 months ago, so he didn't want to leave her alone. So he asked if they could stay at my place for a couple of months to get situated. Ellis is a responsible guy who doesn't take advantage of people, so I felt okay saying yes. Ellis, Taylor, their 7-month-old baby, and Taylor's daughter all moved in. Before they came, I made it clear that I would not tolerate them doing any sleep training or cry-it-out stuff with the baby. If the baby cries, you need to make an immediate and reasonable effort to soothe him. The other rule was that Taylor was responsible for any damage her daughter did in the house. You would think this would be obvious, but we've had previous incidents. The final rule was that neither I nor my husband would be doing any child care. I am a mother to my own daughter, as well as having a side business, and my husband works very hard. Just because we are home does not mean we are available to provide child care. I thought it went without saying that they would be responsible for themselves in all other ways. They accepted all the conditions and moved in. It took 2 weeks to go to heck. There were times I'd have to get up in the night to wake Taylor and Ellis to get the baby. Taylor's daughter has also not adjusted well to the move and is constantly playing sick to avoid going to school. Then, because she's not really sick, she spends the day causing havoc. Taylor has been bugging me to help her with the kids, despite agreeing she wouldn't. She's also been expecting that she and her kids would be cooked and cleaned. So it was 2 weeks until I was getting annoyed, and another 2 weeks until I was on the edge. What tipped it over was earlier this week, when I was picking my daughter up early from school and going out, and Taylor asked me to take her daughter with me. She said she was drowning in things to do, the baby was fussing, and she needed a break. I said no. Taylor swore at me, and I just left. When we got back a few hours later, the first thing I heard was the baby crying. I go into the nursery. No Taylor. Her daughter is sitting on the couch watching TV and crying. No Taylor. My kitchen is a mess and no Taylor. I frantically searched the whole house, only to find Taylor locked in a closet. She said she couldn't take it and needed a break. I called Ellis and told him to get his ass home. I sat them down and said they had to go. I said I would chip in for a hotel, but I can't do this anymore. Ellis thinks I'm being a nah and going back on the deal, but he and Taylor haven't held up their end. I do feel bad because I don't want to stress Ellis out with his new job, but I am going crazy. I hate being in my own home. Am I the jerk for putting my foot down? What do you think OP should do in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Next story. Would I be a jerk if I told my best friend's mom the real reason I wouldn't be there for her daughter's marriage proposal? My best friend, 28 female, and I, 29 female, have been best friends since middle school. They are super close and very much present in each other's lives. She is moving from Ohio to Connecticut, which will make it harder for me to see her as often because we'll be a 10-hour car ride apart, and there are no direct flights. Her and her boyfriend, a 32-year-old male, bought a house in his hometown, 20 minutes from his parents' house, and they moved in on April 19th. She invited me to ride up with her parents to help her move in. The boyfriend called me a week ago to tell me he plans to propose at their front door before they enter the house for the first time as homeowners. When they open the door, their immediate families will be on the other side. I assumed he wouldn't want me there since it was just going to be parents and siblings, but he said he'd love for me to be there and that she would want me there. She told him to make sure I knew about the proposal 6 months in advance. Of course, he just planned this a couple weeks ago. So, today I reached out to her mom and coordinated the ride up there. She was happy he invited me up. As soon as I confirmed the plans with her, the boyfriend called. He told me that his mother doesn't want me there because she thinks it should be immediate family only. I've never met the woman, so I know it's not anything personal, but he also asked me to do him a favor and not tell my BFF or her mom the truth about why I can't be there. I don't like the idea of lying to either of them, and I think they'll both be upset that I bailed. Also, I'm a terrible liar, and I don't think it's fair to save his mom's face because she's already on thin ice with my friend and her mom. I've been crying about it all day because I was so excited to be a part of it. I think I would be the jerk if I told her and or her mom the truth, because it would cause tension as they definitely confront her about it. And they already aren't big fans because she meddles and is controlling. Lastly, I told the boyfriend I wouldn't give them the real reason, but I am her friend before I am his. I don't want to set a negative tone for this new chapter in their lives. I tell her because I don't want my friend to think I didn't want to be there, or that I thought something else was more important. I know she will be hurt that I'm not there, and I honestly can't think of an excuse that her mom would accept or believe. My BFF has always been there when I needed her, dropping everything and driving for 6+ hours or hopping on a plane without me asking. I know she'd want me. TLDR, my best friend's boyfriend invited me to her proposal, but called to tell me I couldn't go because his mom only wants immediate family present. I'm crushed, and I know my bestie will be sad. I'm not there for it. Her and her mom aren't fans of his mom, so he doesn't want me to tell either of them the real reason why I am not going to be there. But would I be a jerk if I told her mom the truth? Update number 1. Here is our text conversation from yesterday. I didn't respond to his last text until this morning. I appreciate everyone's input. You all made me feel less entitled and crazy about feeling the way I feel. There were way more responses than I could have imagined, but now I'm afraid this will end up on her radar because I know she scrolls Reddit occasionally. LOL, he responded to my message with a heart. BF's texts. Update number 2. It looks like I will be there after all. Thanks again for the help, everyone. He really is a great guy, and we all have our faults. It sounds like he is starting to stand up to his family, though. Update. We talked, and I will be at the proposal. Thanks for all your help and encouragement. Next story. Am I overreacting to the fact that my husband receives messages from the girl he cheated on me with previously? First of all, sorry for some mistakes. English is not my first language, but I will try to explain as best as I can. I, 30 female, have been with my husband, 30 male, for the past 8 years and have a 1-year-old son together. During the beginning of the COVID years, 2020, I found out that my then boyfriend had cheated on me with a girl. Let's call her Emma. I found out about his cheating one night when I got his phone and, out of curiosity, searched his messages. Not my proudest moment. A big fight ensued, and 1 week later, after he seemed really remorseful, I decided to forgive him and move on. 2 years later, in 2022, I had a gut feeling that something wasn't right, him being on his phone all the time. So one night I managed to gain access to his Instagram account. Again, I'm not proud of what I did, and I know I invaded his private space, but I knew something was wrong. In his messages, I found numerous conversations with girls. I don't believe he physically cheated, but he was speaking with them like he was a single man. I decided not to tell him anything and to continue to see in real life this time what their conversations were. A week later, after lots of messages, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to confront him and end the relationship. I gathered all of his stuff in garbage bags, printed all the conversations with the other women, and pinned them on our apartment door inside a big folder that had his name on it. When he came home after work, the first thing he saw was that folder, and due to me placing the key on the other side of the door, he wasn't able to enter my apartment. The apartment was bought by me, and since I got the keys, we live together, but he stays rent-free. He contributes in other ways, but not enough. By the way, he started banging on the door and pleading for me to open. I opened the door because the neighbors could hear him shouting, and I showed him all of the packed stuff and told him to get them and leave. He started crying and promised that it was a misunderstanding and that it wasn't what it seemed. Gaslighting, I know. I never believed him, but he refused to leave and said that he would do anything to change my mind. I gave him 2 days to find somewhere else to stay and went asleep. The next whole week, he was acting very sweet, trying to change my mind and refusing to leave. That was the week that I found out I was pregnant, not planned, and told him. He was over the moon. I was shocked and confused. In the end, I again decided to forgive him once more for the sake of our baby. During the pregnancy, I once again saw some messages from another woman, and after a fight, he promised that he sent the messages along with his friends to make fun of the girl. BS, I know. Again, I forgave him for the baby, and after that, everything was good. He is, honestly, a great father. I had not found anything since my pregnancy until I started seeing messages from Emma. He wasn't responding with a conversation, but he was still responding. I spoke with him and told him that I wanted him to stop and block her from his account. He never did. Last week, he changed all his passwords. Up to this point, I knew his passwords. Yesterday night, I saw on his iPad 2 notifications of messages from Emma. I confronted him, and he told me that she replied on his Instagram story, and he responded with just a yes and nothing more. I forgot to mention that he had her as a close friend on Instagram. I know he is not physically cheating. This time I gave him an ultimatum, either me or her, blocking her. He refused with the excuse that he didn't care, and he didn't want to show Emma that we had an argument about her, resulting in him blocking her, but honestly, I don't care what she thinks. At this point, it's a matter of respect, which he doesn't have for me. He says I'm overreacting and to stop overthinking the messages. That's how I see it. I told him that I couldn't marry someone who doesn't respect me. The wedding is in October. He said that I was acting childish and got angry. This morning, we woke up like nothing had happened and were acting sweet. I don't know what to do at this point with this relationship. I'm very tired of the whole situation. So am I overreacting? What should I do at this point? I need some honest advices, even if it's from internet strangers. What would you do in OP's place? Tell me in the comments below. Next story. Find out that my wife cheated on me while we were dating. How do I move on? I found out my 33 male wife, 30 female, of 2 years cheated on me during the first year of dating. We've been together for about 6 years, met over mutual friends, and started dating a couple months ago. We were quite close. We'd hang out often and have a lot of cuddles and kisses. I never suspected anything because we were quite close. We were both still going out from time to time, sometimes together, sometimes alone with friends, and then we just meet up at the end of the night and go home. I had some attractive female friends at the time, but I cut them off since I didn't want to make her feel insecure. She was very well aware of why I did this and the reasoning behind it. We dated for about 3 to 4 years before getting married. After getting married, I once jokingly bluffed and said, "Hey, I know you cheated on me," staring her in the eyes for a while with a slight smile. She broke down and started crying, admitting to me that she cheated. I was in shock. I never suspected it, nor did I expect it. I pushed to see how long things went on. She kind of admitted it happened for a year. I never really asked for details like who and what, thinking it would just be worse for me to know more about it. One thing I'm fairly confident about is that she never had intimacy with him or them. She's also fairly religious, the type that goes to church often. Maybe that's another reason why it was a shock for me to find out. The only thing that could have predicted this was that she mentioned a few times during our first year of dating that it takes her a while to fall in love with someone. Strangely, I didn't care all that much at the time. I'm not sure why, but I just felt like it was a while back, and I just didn't have energy for drama at the time. So I kinda got over it, maybe also because I knew she didn't have intimacy before. She said the reason why was because she always suspected I was cheating on her too because I was attractive, etc. Which sounded like bullshit to me, especially because I went out of my way to cut out attractive female friends so she wouldn't feel insecure, but I just accepted it to avoid drama. Now we're thinking of having kids, and it's starting to bother me more and more. Every time she gets controlling about me going out with some friends, this anger in me builds up thinking about what she did and how dare she not trust me when I never did anything to make her think I'm cheating on her. I'm afraid the resentment may grow with time, and I'm getting scared of having kids with her for this reason. I do love her, but I'm a lot more cautious now about how much I trust her. Sometimes I wonder if she was in a workplace situation where she clicked with someone over time and whether she'd do it again. How do I proceed long term? And for our last story of today, my partner's mother is driving me insane. So a little backstory, I met my partner when I was 17, and I am now 22. I've been around his mom plenty of times, and even he cannot stand his own mom as she is a high-grade narcissist. Me and my partner recently found out that she has been talking a lot of crap behind mine and his back, saying that we apparently go to the food bank and that I'm awful with money or this and that, and it's just simply not true. She hasn't liked me since day one. But it's not just me she doesn't like. She also doesn't like her other children's partners either. It just baffles me that a 43-year-old feels like she needs to keep doing this. It's been years. I could do everything right, but she still can't stand me, and her son and I both know she's a high-grade narcissist. So we both know that no matter what, there is no changing it. In the 3 years that me and her son have lived together, she has visited twice, even though we live just 20 minutes from her. But we are always expected to visit her every chance she needs at her beckoning call. So me and my partner have started putting up boundaries on it. She texts my partner 3 months in advance about a $200 chair she wants for Mother's Day. She calls up and brags about how she's getting $10,000 back from the government. I've just never seen a mom act like this. It's almost as if she's 16. My partner has over and over again explained his pain towards her, and it never changes because there is absolutely no changing her. It hurts because I moved across the country to live with my partner, so I have no family here for myself, and I knew moving down that I would have nothing except my partner. So this is just what I have to deal with. She doesn't want me and my partner to have a baby, and it's obvious as she constantly says we aren't ready for it or we're not mature enough, even though she had her child at 18. I didn't want to start trying till I was 23, but besides the point, I think she's not thrilled about it as all the attention wouldn't be on her anymore, and it shows. I've thought to myself that just not going around her or over to her house may help, as there wouldn't be anything new to talk smack about or insult about, etc., and to just completely distance myself from that. I'm 22, and I just feel that I do not need this in my life. It's so stressful all the time. This isn't just a monster-in-law. This is a high-grade level narcissist I'm dealing with. I won't go into personal detail about the stuff that makes my partner resent her as a mom, as that's not my place to tell or speak. But I just don't know what to do anymore. Any advice helps. Hey everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching until the end. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to stay updated on future content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when I release new videos, and you'll be helping to support my channel. So, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and let's keep this journey going together. Thanks again for your support.